What's going on, everyone? It's your favorite minority from the loud majority, touching base with the bass. So, this is a reaction video. I'm not doing any more podcast episodes, not any long ones anyway, for a little while. I'm gonna wait till we get a few more, maybe a couple more subscribers and possibly bring some people, onto the podcast and have some guests and stuff. So most likely, the next time I do one, I'll have a guest on. Um, that way we can discuss, whatever's going on at that particular moment in time. But this is actually a reaction video to, I don't know if you guys have seen lately, Stephan A Smith. Yeah. So Stephan A Smith lately, he's been kind of dropping some red pills on his he has his own independent podcast. I'm assuming it's independent. I would assume it's independent because he's kind of allowed to say some things that you normally wouldn't be allowed to say on certain other programs. Um, Depending on who was running the show, obviously on ESPN and things like that, that's ran by Disney, and you're not going to get to speak much truth on programs that are ran by companies like Disney and things like that. So he's been dropping some red pills, man. And the crazy thing about this, right, is that Stephen A. Smith, he said it himself. He said he's a fiscal conservative, but in the real world, he's a liberal, when it comes to the social issues and things like that. He repeatedly has to remind his audience and I guess other people that he's still not voting for Donald Trump. But if you watch, we're gonna watch. But if you've seen the last episode that he put out, actually it wasn't the last one, but it was the one before it. He went in. He went in. He talked about how he read an article on an opinion piece. I forgot who he said exactly it was that wrote it, but he said he agreed with most of the things that the person said in it. And what was said in this opinion piece is pretty much that, the Biden administration is using lawfare to take down Donald Trump because they know that they can't beat him fairly in an election. I mean, if you look at the numbers now, that's more than obvious. So he agreed with the opinion piece basically that, they're using lawfare to take down Trump, and that despite his personal feelings towards Trump, the things that they're doing isn't building any more confidence in the Democrat Party, which he says he does want. Okay. But he's basically calling them out saying the reason that nobody supports you guys is because you're all liars. And everybody knows you're liars, but you keep going out and pretending that you're not. So we're gonna go into it, but then that was his other episode. But then I'm assuming right after this came out, right after that came out, you can bet your ass that the media, the established media, the establishment media, the mainstream media, the fake news, fake news media immediately started to attack him. Right away they're starting to say, oh, he's making excuses for Donald Trump. He's saying that the media is going too light on Donald Trump. He's like, listen, man, I'm not saying that, Trump is innocent. This is Stephen A's words, by the way. I'm not saying Trump's innocent. I'm not saying anything, but it's just looking like you can't beat him. So you're using other tactics. And that's pretty much the sum of the video. But we're going to play it. Let's go into it. Let me go ahead and set it up. Just give me a second. All right. All righty. Here we are. We're going to stretch this out just a little bit. I don't even know if that ever really works, but I stretch it out anyway. All right, let's see. Start from the beginning.
it come right here on the Stephan A Smith Show. Did you hear Donald Trump's comments on a quote, bloodbath, if he's not reelected? I've got several thoughts on that matter. Plus, calls, tweets, and then some up next. It's the Stephan A Smith Show. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the Stephan A Smith Show right here over the digital airwaves of YouTube. Still to come right here on the Stephan A Smith Show. Did you hear Donald Trump's comments on a quote, bloodbath, if he's not reelected? I've got several thoughts on that matter. Plus, calls, tweets, and then some up next. This is the Stephan A Smith Show. Don't go anywhere.
Okay, so this is definitely an independent show. I'm not sure if this is on a particular network or if this is just, or if it's just online. I'm not sure. I'm gonna assume that this is just like like something that he has on YouTube. Maybe this cannot be on the network. I'm telling you, just listen to what he has to say. There's no way this is on like ESPN or Disney or any of that.
Welcome back to the Stephan A Smith Show right here over the digital airwaves of YouTube. I want to take a moment to get into a little politics because there was a website called The Spun that released an article about me, and it was entitled, quote, Stephan A accuses the media of being unfair to Donald Trump.
Now you see, it's that quick. Okay, they come at you and they turn on you that fast. Now, Stephan A has said it in the past, and I'm sure he says it again in this particular episode, that he's never voted for Donald Trump and he never will vote for Donald Trump. Yet the media still is attacking him because he spoke some truth. Because he spoke some truth. Okay, you're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to speak truth, especially when you're a black media figure such as Stephan A Smith. You're not allowed to do those things. It goes against their entire plan. So, of course, they, you know, in typical fashion, they all jumped on him very quickly.
The subject of the article was a post, essentially one that I tagged to a video that was released by Elon Musk on a speech that Trump was giving the other day. And when I responded and tagged Elon Musk's video, here is what I said. Based purely on this video, if it is accurate, then it would be true. It seems real Donald Trump's words were taken out of context. Reading the headlines, I've read, fair is fair. I posted this in response to the owner of Tesla and X, the one and only Elon Musk himself, saying, quote, legacy media lies, end quote, in a post highlighting media criticism of Trump's speech. That was in reference to Trump's comments Saturday at an auto industry rally in Dayton, Ohio, y'all. And
now, if you guys don't know what that particular incident was, this was a few days, about 2-3 days ago, where Trump gave a speech in Dayton, Ohio, where he was talking about, you know, the auto industry, something with China and the auto industry, and how if you know, if they were allowed to do what they wanted to do, it would be economic disaster. It would be a bloodbath for the auto industry. And then, of course, as you can predict the mainstream media to do, they took every other word out and they just ran with the bloodbath. And basically, The View, ABC, Joe Scarborough, I mean, all the typical liberal screaming heads were regurgitating the same bullshit narrative over and over about how We all know what Donald Trump really meant when he said bloodbath, even though if you watch the whole clip, you can hear him particularly talking about the auto industry, okay, which is a term that they use in economics. Bloodbath, they use that in economics all the time. But the media said, "Ooh, this is just too good to pass up." So of course they did what they do best. Okay, they chopped it up. They presented it to you as some sort of threat of violence. That if Donald Trump is not reelected, that his supporters will enact a bloodbath across the country. And it was so easy to point out this lie that even Stephen A did it, and he's being attacked by the liberal media for it.
No industry rally in Dayton, Ohio. One thing Trump did say was this. Listen for yourself.
China now is building a couple of massive plants where they're going to build the cars in Mexico and they think that they're going to sell those cars into the United States with no tax at the border. Let me tell you something to China. If you're listening, President Xi, and you and I are friends, but he understands the way I deal. Those big monster car manufacturing plants that you're building in Mexico right now, and you think you're going to get that, you're going to not hire Americans, and you're going to sell the cars to us. Now, we're going to put a 100% tariff on every single car that comes across the line, and you're not going to be able to sell those cars. If I get elected, now, if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole, that's going to be the least of it. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country. That'll be the least of it.
What did I do? The fact of the matter is, when you watch the headlines talking about Donald Trump, they were mischaracterizing his comments.
Yes, they were.
Yes, he said what he said, but it was taken completely out of context because he was talking about the auto industry and business with China and how if he's not elected, it's going to be problematic in terms of doing business with China as it pertains to the auto industry. I don't take it back. I ain't backing up 1 inch.
See?
What the hell is going on here? Let me tell y'all something. I'm really getting sick and tired of people mischaracterizing my quotes. This is the beauty of having my own platform.
Just like I said, this is why he's able to say what he's saying right now, because this is his own platform. If he was on whatever show it was, I'm not big, I'm not super duper into sports. Yeah, I watch a little football here. I'm a huge Steeler fan, but I don't watch a lot of these these shows where these guys sit and talk about sports. I just don't do it. That's I watch games, and then that's as far as it goes for me. But if he was on one of those particular shows, he wouldn't be able to speak this way. And yes, they do sometimes, delve into politics and things like that on those programs. But he wouldn't be able to go at the media like this if he was on a program on ESPN, which is owned by Disney. He wouldn't be able to say this. You have to have your own platform in order to say what you really want to say, especially the truth, which is so strange. Does nobody else find that strange nowadays? I'm still one of those people that find it very odd that we're allowing that.
And saying what I want to say and what I need to say, only for this perspective of quoting me accurately and contextualizing what I say accurately. Then do what you want. But any given time that I want to, when you mischaracterize what I say, I'm going to come back at your ass. That's what I'm going to do. Let me be very, very clear. For all of you Democrats out there that swear up and down, I'm some damn Trump supporter because I call it like I said. I didn't vote for Trump in 2016. I didn't vote for Trump in 2020, and I damn sure ain't gonna vote for him in 2024.
You see, this is what we need a lot more of, though, right here, okay? It's time for people to start waking up and start realizing what's happening here. You don't have to really like Donald Trump. You don't have to support Donald Trump. You can feel how you feel about Donald Trump. But if you don't realize or recognize just how corrupt our government is by watching them go after Donald Trump, then there's no hope for you, okay? You have become so dependent on the state and so brainwashed, okay, by their bullshit that you cannot see real abuse of power if it slapped you in the face. Okay? All these indictments, all these cases waited right till election time, right until after he announced he was running for president. Why didn't they bring all these charges? Don't give me that bullshit that, oh, it took them time. It took them right after he announced he was running for president, right after. Come on. I don't want to hear that shit, man. Y'all got to wake up and start understanding what's really happening here. Then you got all these cases falling apart. I mean, just look at the RICO case in Atlanta. You have a literal criminal prosecuting him. So her criminality's already been proven. She's lied under oath in front of the whole country. That's a crime. So you got a criminal prosecuting a former president. And you think all the rest of these cases are all, you know, on the up and up? You think that there's no shady business going on in the rest of them? The E. Jean Carroll case, found liable, has to pay $83 million because a woman can now just come out of nowhere and say, he raped me. Okay, do you have any evidence? No. Any eyewitness testimony? No. Any video? No. Any DNA? No. But he did go out there and say that I was too ugly for him to ever sleep with. He has to pay you then. Nobody finds this shit weird. Y'all got to find this crazy by now. Whether you support him or not, you got to find this crazy. Stephen A is waking up.
And if you really, really want my history, let me take it a step further. I voted for Michael Dukakis versus H.W. Bush. Even when he tried to hoodwink everybody and use those Willie Horton ads that ultimately worked for him. I voted for Bill Clinton, not once, but twice.
Oh, Billy.
For Al Gore.
God.
That's the first time I heard about, what is it? What is it? Leading.
Stephen A is such a damn liberal.
The voting booth, hanging chads, rather. I don't know this stuff, but I voted for Al Gore. Yes, I did. I voted for John Kerry. Yes, I did. And you damn right I voted for Barack Obama, not once, but twice.
You damn right.
And I voted for Hillary Clinton. And I voted for Joe Biden, despite the crime bill, leading to mass incarceration for minorities in this country, although it was entirely his fault because you had the Congressional Black Caucus pushing him to do it. But he bragged about how it was his bill, until it wasn't politically.
He sure did.
To do so.
See, this is what kills me though about Stephen A. Because you voted. How can you claim that you so for black black rights and going against the racists that have had their knees on the neck of black people for the last 400, 500, 600, 700 years, whatever the case may be. But then you go ahead and vote for somebody that led the mass incarceration of black men. You literally vote for that person. Donald Trump has never done anything like that. Donald Trump didn't mass incarcerate black men. Joe Biden did. Where is the logic to vote for somebody that physically has oppressed black people? But you won't vote for Trump because of what they say. This is crazy to me. This is crazy to me. I hope Stephen A continue. It's starting to look like he's getting it, but I hope he fully gets it and before November.
Voting for Democrats, but hey, I'm a fair-minded individual, and when Republicans make sense, I'm going to give them credit for it. When they're right about something, I'm going to give them credit for it. There's plenty of Republicans other than Trump that I would have voted for, and I wouldn't have apologized for it because I don't happen to disagree with every conservative policy. But just so we're clear, I'm a fiscal conservative and I am a social liberal.
Social liberal.
Apologetic about it.
You don't shy away from
What
that.
does that have to do with y'all not telling the truth?
Exactly.
See, at the end of the day, let's just call it what it is. Trump is handing it to y'all. All you Democrats out there are walking around acting like it's somebody else's fault that in the year 2024, you're begging a soon-to-be 82-year-old incumbent to run for re-election. Win for you, because you haven't had a damn soul that can take them. 4 indictments, 91 counts, 2 impeachments, civil suits against them, elevated above $400 million. And
Crazy.
he is whipping y'all ass.
Whooping y'all ass. You understand? He is whooping y'all ass. This is Stephen A. I mean, come on. Listen, even if you don't like this man, Donald Trump, you have to admit what is going on here. You got to be honest with yourself, okay? You don't want things like this happening because eventually the pendulum swings to the other side. And you don't want a Republican to come into office and all of a sudden start prosecuting former Democrat presidents just because they don't agree politically, okay? You don't want that. See, the thing is, what most people don't understand now is that former presidents can now be prosecuted. They set that precedent when they did it with Trump. Trump is not the only former president alive that has committed what some people would call crimes that they're not immune from as president, like Obama, for instance. Now, do you want a Republican to come into office a few years from now and say, I'm going after Obama, and we're definitely going to put him in prison for some of the things he did while he was president? I mean, don't get me wrong. If Obama did a lot of the things that they say he did during his presidency, like the spying on Trump and everything, then he's destined for prison if a Republican that really wants to go after him gets in office. So, I don't know, man.
They fact. He secured the GOP nomination. You got him ahead in all the polls as we speak. You got him elevated, according to the poll, in a world of Hispanics and Blacks, more so than ever before. Not to say that those numbers are going to be exorbitant, but it'll be just enough to get him reelected. And because I'm sitting here and pointing out to you that you're getting in your own way by trying to fabricate or embellish stories in such a fashion where you can easily get caught,
Easily.
for your miscalculations or your flat out lies, and something that he is going to use to his advantage to get reelected. I'm wrong. I'm wrong because I'm calling out how you don't know how to beat them.
That's what they do. That's what they do.
Political aficionado. But I've been on the record saying I'd love to go against Trump in a debate. You know how embarrassing that is that I could say that? Because he beat y'all. You can't beat him. You can't beat him.
Nah.
You're trying everything. You're engaging in lawfare. You keep coming up with stuff.
Lawfare.
It's Russian collusion 1 minute. It's civil cases the next. We got a district attorney in the state of New York going after him for paying hush money to a former porn star. You really think that's going to stop him from getting reelected?
Oh my God, that's crazy.
People who are already on the record saying they would vote for him if he were a convicted felon and putting a Z receiver behind us.
That's the truth, man. People don't care no more. They know it's all BS.
He's coming to the best. What's the best you can do? Because I'm pointing out how something's not going to work. Newsflash. He is taking it to y'all.
Taking it.
In such a way that it's become a bit embarrassing.
All you got to do is pay attention, man. Like, the craziest thing about all this to me is how Trump keeps finding a way out of all these things. I don't know. Call it divine intervention. I don't know. Call it whatever you want. Okay, we can engage in a conversation about that at any time. But the craziest thing about it to me is that he keeps finding a way. And I don't want to say finding a way out of these things because that sounds like in a way he's guilty of these things. But it's almost as if there's something that's just not allowing all these charges and indictments and attacks and lies and you know, just all the things they've been doing to him for all these years since the day he came down that elevator. Um, it seems as if like there's something blocking all of those things from stopping him. Okay. And even Stephen A can see it, man. Stephen A can see it plain as day that Trump is headed to the White House. Despite everything else, all this is doing is helping him get to the White House way faster. November is coming quickly. Okay. It's coming quickly. The stories are happening quickly. The lies that the media is spewing are being debunked so quickly now. It's not even funny. They can't even keep up with how quick we're putting these, you know, these fake fires out. So it's a crazy time. And now we got Stephen A. We got Stephen A on our side. Even though he says he's not voting for Trump, I'll take this. Keep waking him up. Keep feeding him the truth. I can't be mad at that.
It's that simple. Not only is he taking out DeSantis and Nikki Haley and Chris Christie and Vivek Ramaswamy, he's also taking out President Biden before our very eyes. The momentum keeps dissipating. I'm not happy about that because I believe that a Trump presidency could potentially cause civil war in this country. That's my personal belief based on his behavior, because I believe he will be on a vengeance tour. And he won't be governing, he'll be exacting revenge instead of being presidential.
And guess what? Even if he wants to, I mean, can anybody really blame him or be mad at him for doing that at this point? If what these people are doing to him now ultimately turns out to be illegal, which a lot of it is going to end up turning out to be illegal when a lot of this stuff gets investigated, when, God willing, Trump gets into office. And he realizes that they were cutting so many corners and doing a lot of unethical and funny money shit to try to get these charges passed and these, you know, these prosecutions sped up. Oh, if there was any type of misconduct or any type of laws broken in those processes, you can bet your ass he's coming for them. I would. You're trying to bankrupt me. You're trying to, not only are you trying to bankrupt me, you're trying to lock me in a hole for 400 years. You're tarnishing my name for the last 6, 7 years, calling me this type of racist, that type of racist, a dictator, Hitler, all this crazy shit. And then on top of that, you're coming at his kids too. You're coming at my kids? Oh, no. No. If you done anything wrong, you better get on a plane and get the hell out of here, because you're next.
And being the leader of the free world for all of America. That's my belief. But that does not mean I'm not going to point out when you're doing something that's to your detriment that is not going to lead to beating him. The truth is the truth. He's smoking guns right now. After he smoked every GOP rival they could find.
That's the truth, like man.
He's destined for the White House.
He's destined for the White House.
He's
destined.
What you gonna do about it? Because right now, he's giving it to y'all.
Damn, man.
What LeBron James and Steph Curry do to opponents.
This got to be a wake-up call for the media. Like, at some point, the mainstream media has to, like, look themselves in the mirror and say, nobody believes shit we say. Why don't we just start telling the truth again? And maybe, just maybe, we'll get some viewers back. I mean, you got YouTubers, not me. Hopefully one day. Not yet, though. But you got YouTubers that do what I do, but they do it on a way higher level than me. You know, they're way more educated than I am. They have, you know, way more proper setup than me. You know, they're way more sophisticated at this whole thing. They were smoking mainstream media and ratings and views. YouTubers, independent, doing it out their basement, their garage, because they speak the truth. And that's all people really want nowadays from the news. The news is giving you their opinions all day long. They're telling you how much they can't stand this guy and this and the third. Since when has that ever been the news? Since when has the news ever been you telling me how you feel about somebody? That's not news. We don't care about how you feel. All we want is the truth. All we want is the news, the facts. We don't care about how you feel about Donald Trump. I don't even care about how Fox feels about Joe Biden. I don't. Like, I don't care. Just give me the facts. That's it. That's your job. Your job was never to get on TV and whine and cry, you know, because you don't like a certain political figure. That was never supposed to be the job. Okay, when in the hell did that ever become their job?
What Patrick Mahomes just did to a bunch of people. Trump is doing that to the Dems because in the year 2024, the liberal side of our political stratosphere, the ones whom some are called progressives, are relying on an 82 yield to come save the day. And I'm saying, what if the momentum continues to show this? Y'all just gonna stand there and let Biden fall? Y'all ain't gonna do anything? Y'all ain't gonna get Kamala Harris in as your nominee? You ain't gonna get Gavin Newsom in as your nominee? You ain't gonna get somebody else in as your nominee?
I mean, not like any of them really got a chance.
Anything.
Gavin Newsom destroyed
If
California.
there's anybody else in any other profession, y'all would say, try something. Anything. Y'all just standing still. Again, getting your ass kissed.
Getting their ass
You want to
kicked.
accuse Stephen A of saying something? Accuse me of that. I dare anybody to deny it based on what we've been seeing.
So calm, so collected. I love it. I love it. I hate the fact that this man is probably still going to vote for Joe Biden, though. I don't know. Like I said, I hate the fact that Stephen A is most likely still going to vote for Joe Biden. He'd probably still vote for Joe Biden. That's a fact. Okay. But if he's going to continue waking up his viewers, so be it. Hopefully they got a little bit more common sense than he does, because he'll go through all that. Know that a lot of this sounds like bullshit, but I'm still going to vote for Joe Biden, though. Even though he led the mass incarceration of Black people, which I'm supposedly fighting for Black rights, but I'm going to vote for the man that led the mass incarceration of Black people, which still, I just don't, it's just not computing in my brain, but it is what it is. But I hope you guys enjoyed that video. I hope you guys learned a little bit. And, you know, obviously in the comments, you guys can tell me what you think about that. Make sure you guys do me a favor. You like this video. Make sure you guys pat that subscribe button, okay? And pat that like button, and definitely share this with everybody you know. All right? It's your favorite minority from the loud majority, touching base with the base. You guys have a good night.